Hello and welcome to the GFI software product demonstration series. In today's demo presentation, we're going to cover GFI Archiver. Before we begin, I want to start with an overview of what we're going to cover. We'll look at the Home section, the Configuration section, and the menu categories for each configuration component, the Mail Insights reporting, and the user experience for how users will have access to their archived email. Right here we're looking at the home page or the main dashboard. Here you can get details on the status of the services that run GFI Archiver, the status of the connectivity to the journaling mailbox, the status of the connectivity to the SQL server as well. In the middle pane, we can see the total number of emails that have been archived into GFI Archiver, and then a breakdown with each archive store, how many emails are in each. To the right of that, we have a hard drive capacity for the server, just as a quick health check. And then below that, we have an email flow statistic chart that will show you a 24-hour, 7-day, 30-day, or custom setting time frame. Next, we're going to move on to the configuration section. Under the configuration, each main category is broken down into specific components. Clicking on the down arrow next to the category name will show you a detailed explanation of each component to better understand what each component does. We'll start at the top with the archive sources component and look at the archiving method. Archiving method is going to let you choose what type of archiving that you want to do. You have the options of manual archiving, journal-based archiving, and under auto archiving you have the options to archive all emails or emails based on configured rules. On the left-hand side, we're able to quickly jump to other tasks under the component that we're in. So we're going to take a look from here in the Mail Service to Archive node. Here's where we can set up our journal and mailbox for auto archiving. If we click on the Add button, we're presented with the Mail Server to Archive wizard. From here, we've got a couple different choices of how we're going to connect to our journal mailbox. If you're using Exchange 2007 or above, your journaling mailbox, if you have one, will be auto-detected and will show up in this top box here. Also using Exchange 2007 or above, GFI Archiver has the ability to create a journaling mailbox for you. And of course, you also have the option to manually connect to a journaling mailbox. Once you finish the wizard, you'll see your journal mailbox as it's shown here, giving you the activity of the mailbox, the mailbox server, the mailbox store, and the connection information. Next, we'll look at the rule-based archiving node. This section is available if you have journal archiving selected with the rule-based option. And this gives us the option to decide which messages are automatically archived into GFI Archiver. If we click on Add, we're presented with the archiving rule wizard, where we can name a new rule, and we can choose from a list of message conditions to check against in order to decide whether an email should be archived or not. Next, we have the archiving restrictions node. This node allows you to specify which users will or will not be archived. For example, if you only need to archive emails from a particular set of users, you can select to enable the restrictions and choose an inclusion list. This list will be the users that are going to be archived by GFI Archiver. Moving down to the next component, the archive component, we'll take a look at the archive stores node. Here we're showing a list of the archive stores or databases. This is where we can configure how our data is going to be stored into Archiver and the frequency at which the database is going to rotate. We can also use this as a health check for our databases to make sure that they're all working correctly, and also to view information on each different database. For example, if we click on a database and choose Summary, we are presented with all of the information on that database. We can edit database information, attach or detach databases, and also rebuild the database index from here. Now, if we want to create a new archive store or archive store settings, we can click on the new archive store settings button here. From here, we can specify what type of database that we're going to archive to. We've got the option of our own GFI archiver database, as well as several different options that incorporate Microsoft SQL Server and SQL Server Express. Once we choose our option, we can configure our authentication method for SQL and our index file location. We can then choose the frequency of our archive store creation. We have the options for monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, half-yearly, and yearly. Next, we'll go on to the roles and permissions node. Here's where we can designate what type of access users have to the archiver web interface. For example, if I were to choose the default role administrator, which is shown here, I would have access to options such as messaging, managing general configuration, and managing auditing configuration. I would not have access, however, to view the archived email of other users. On the other side, full access user has exactly that right. It would be able to view the archived messages of all users, but it would not be able to manage or change configuration settings. Additional to the predefined rules, you can also add and create your own rules and choose whichever permissions that you want. The access control node allows us to designate access based on particular need. For example, I don't want to give a department manager access to all users in the company's emails, but I may want to give that department manager access to the group of users that he or she manages. I can do this by configuring a group manager here. From here, I can choose a user on the left-hand side and give them access to a group of mailboxes of a particular group. I can also give a single user access to another user's email box, or configure shared mailbox access from this node. Next, we'll go in and look at the policies component, and we can look at the retention and spam policies. As the name states, we're able to create retention and spam policies with Archiver. So if I wanted to create a new retention policy, I can click on Add and choose my policy name. And I can choose the conditions for the policy, what I want the policy to apply to. So I can choose from here my sender if I want. And then I can enable the policy. I've got two different actions I can take. I can not retain the emails and delete them immediately, or I can retain the emails for a specified number of days and delete them thereafter. Next, we'll move on to the GFI Mail Insights reporting. Mail Insights reports are specifically designed to deliver usage and trend information that can be easily used to identify business issues that impact your organization's productivity. For example, I can use the inappropriate words report to track users that are using inappropriate words in emails. This report will show me the emails that were sent, the time, the users, and the number one and number two users that are using inappropriate words. I can send this report immediately to whatever email address I want to, and I can also schedule the report out and create a daily, weekly, or monthly schedule for this report. And the final thing that I will talk about is the Archive tab. For users and administrators, this is the interface that will allow you to view your archived mail. As a full access administrator, I have the ability to search for and add mailboxes of users in my company to view their archived mail. As you can see, I've got my administrator account, and I also have 3 other users' mail that I can also search through. In the middle, we can see all of the archived mail based on the archive store that I've got selected. And I can change the archive store from right here to look at a different time frame. If I want to view a particular piece of mail, all I have to do is click on the mail once, and it will show up on the right-hand pane. If I want more detailed information, I can double-click on the message, and I'm presented with a more Outlook type of view with additional options such as viewing the header information, viewing the conversation thread, downloading the message, or deleting the message. In the right corner, we have our search window, and from here I can perform a quick search using a keyword against the currently selected archive store. GFI Archiver has very powerful indexing, so it makes it very easy to search for what you're looking for. Now, if I want to do a more advanced search, I can get very granular with GFI Archiver's reporting. I can search for, I can change the users that I'm searching for. I can change and specify the archive stores, the sent date, and then I can choose from a wide array of conditions to include or exclude from my search. Thank you for watching the GFI Archiver product demonstration. If you have any detailed questions, please contact a GFI representative and we will be happy to discuss them with you. If you would like to trial GFI Archiver yourself, you can download a copy along with a 30-day license key from www.gfi.com/archiver. And remember, GFI Software is the software solution provider for SMBs.